How's it going, everybody? Today I wanted to talk about purchasing a workers' compensation insurance policy for the first time. Maybe you are a business owner that is just looking to hire on your first employees and looking to get coverage in place, because in nearly every state, and Michigan is no different, having workers' compensation insurance is a requirement. But how exactly do you go about getting a policy in place for the first time, and what should you know before getting coverage? Thank you for stopping by. My name is Brian. I'm an independent insurance agent based here in the state of Michigan, Metro Detroit specifically, and I work with businesses on their commercial insurance programs, as well as helping families and individuals with their personal insurance, their home, their auto insurance as well. My goal with this channel is to pass on a little bit of educational information to you so that you can make more informed decisions around your insurance, and then overall help answer any questions that you might have. So let's get into it. And before we get too far into the video, I do want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you find this video helpful, useful, anything like that, please feel free to like and share it, pass along with anyone else as well. So to start, workers' compensation insurance covers the medical expenses, lost wages, and rehab services for any employees that get injured or sick due to their job. Employers' liability coverage is also typically a part of workers' compensation insurance, and this protects your business from lawsuits related to workplace injuries. In Michigan, you are required to carry workers' compensation insurance as soon as you hire a certain amount of employees. Typically, this will be if you have 3 or more employees in total, that's full-time and part-time, or at least just 1 full-time employee. Now, in order to get coverage in place, the insurance companies will need a certain amount of information on your business. This will be things like your business's operations, your payroll estimates for your employees, and then the job duties and type of work that each of your employees do. The insurance companies will use these factors to determine your premium. So again, your payroll size, and then the classification codes for each employee, which each insurance company will have a specific rate assigned to it. And then once you get further down the line and more established, the insurance companies will also take into account your claims history. But this obviously won't apply if you are just getting your initial policy in place. And it is important to note, some industries like construction, manufacturing, will naturally pay more for coverage due to the higher workplace injury risk. So if it is your first time getting coverage in place, you can work with an independent agent like myself to shop for coverage. Not every insurance company will be the best fit and have the appetite for every type of business. So this is why it is important to work with somebody who does have multiple options. There are many private insurance companies that are available out there that you can get coverage through, but depending on your class of business, how long you've been in business, and other factors as well, you may have to purchase coverage through the state-sponsored program through the work comp placement facility. Again, because having workers' compensation insurance is a requirement in the state, they do have this option available for businesses so that everyone does have access to coverage. And this would be for circumstances where those in the private insurance marketplace might not want or be able to underwrite your coverage at this time. Going through the state assigned risk pool can be a bit more expensive for the time being, but as you establish your business, keep a clean claims history, get a safety program in place, you can potentially move to lower cost options down the line and maybe at your first renewal. But this is also why working with an independent agent that specializes in workers' comp can help, because we can help find the right options for your business while keeping coverage the same and keeping costs as low as possible. The next item is making sure that you are choosing the right coverage limits. Here in the state of Michigan, there are minimum coverage limit requirements, which are $100,000 per accident, $500,000 per policy, and then $100,000 per employee. But these limits can be fairly low if you do run into the event of a serious injury and a serious claim. I will always typically recommend to purchase $1 million limits across the board for these policies. This is because the cost difference to have $1 million limits versus the state minimum is usually very minimal. And again, a single severe injury can easily exceed those lower policy limits, which can leave you and your business, your employees, exposed. So for the minimal cost, for the better protection, it is definitely worth it. Now, here are a few other things to keep in mind when you are purchasing your first policy. One is that your policy will most likely be audited. Because your workers' comp premium will be based on your payroll, most insurance companies will annually audit every policy to make sure that the premium you are paying is in line with what your actual exposures are. So if your payroll increases and you underreported it initially, you may owe additional premium at the end of the policy term. And also vice versa. If your payroll is lower than expected, you could receive a refund or a credit to your policy. And it's also important to keep in mind that coverage gaps can be very expensive. If you're required to have workers' comp and you do not, you could face expensive state fines, potential costly lawsuits. So it is very important that you do stay in compliance. But overall, getting workers' compensation insurance in place for the first time does not have to be complicated. But understanding the basics around what this coverage actually entails, how the costs are calculated, and how to stay compliant can definitely help. So if you are looking for help with your insurance, with your workers' compensation insurance or commercial insurance program as a whole, I would love the opportunity to work with you and see if our team can help. There are a lot of ways to get a hold of me, and they should all be in the description below. Please feel free to text, call, email, fill out a contact form, whatever is easiest. And if you have any other questions about insurance, please feel free to leave them in the comments below or reach out directly. I would love to help answer those as well. So thank you again.